All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, South Philly Sauce, an Audacy original brought to you by 94 WIP and Jack Daniels. Ashlyn, Sullivan, Al Morganti here with you, and so excited to have Garnet Hathaway here with us this week. It is our Jack Daniels salute. Garnet just signed an extension to stay here in Philadelphia, so congratulations. And what made you want to get this deal done? What was it about Philly?
Oh, I think everything, honestly. It's from the top down. I think the Flyers organization is, one of the best organizations in the NHL, and I don't think I knew that looking from the outside. But being able to spend a year here, our ownership, Dan Hilferty, our front office, and everyone who's in the rink every day, medical equipment, and then the players. It's a group that I really wanted to be around. And so when the opportunity came up to spend more time in them and really continue this path that we're on, it was a no-brainer for me.
So Garner, how important was it beyond just the rink and the team, just the area to come in and live here? I know you're a big sports fan to see what's going on here, but how important was it just to live here near Philadelphia and with what's all that's going on here in the city?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. And yeah, I think it's just when you look at it as, that the three stadiums right next to each other, I don't think you don't even need to look past that. You can just tell what the city's about, and how excited the fan bases are. And then you get into a game and you have them on your side, and you realize that it's just the passion that's in this city, for their sports, for their teams. It's above and beyond a lot of other cities. And yeah, it's like you said, outside of the rink, it's one that I have 2 young kids and, a third on the way. And it's been an awesome area to live. And we're really happy here. And it's one that I think didn't take long to get comfortable. It was a really easy transition. And that just made it, even easier to decide when the chance came to stay, it was that simple.
It's true. It seems like right away you gelled with this team so quickly. And I go back when Danny Briere was saying that you were just born to be a Flyer. You play the Flyer way. And I got to imagine that's such a big compliment to you.
Yeah. And I think that's when you look at the history of this organization. It's one that, I came in striving to play for, and to hear those words and from Danny too, it means a lot. And I think you'd ask anyone on the team, it's one that you just want to keep playing like that, right? You want to be able to live up to that. And I think that's what this group is great about. It's understanding what each individual guy needs to help him play his best game. And that's the kind of group we have and that we're building on.
I know hockey players don't like to brag about anything, but how cool is it to be a free agent, to come in and make a career like this, where you become a real important part of a fabled organization, to not be drafted, Ivy League school, to have the success you've had? How rewarding is that personally, to have all that work pay off?
Takes a village. I've had a lot of help along the way, whether you look at, you go back to my time at Brown and my coaching staff there, and then the coaching staff and my teammates when I was in the minors, and just trying to figure my way out through pro hockey has been one. Yeah, it's been rewarding, but I wouldn't be here without that support. And so it's, sometimes it seems surreal, and sometimes it feels like, you can't stop for a second. And sit back, because it's really an everyday league. So you need to keep preparing for your best in order to play your best, and in order to, be that role that you're signed for, that you're like, that's required of you. So to sign it, it's been awesome. I won't lie. I'm really excited. I've had a great time, and my friends and families, and, we're excited about it, but it's one that it didn't change. I don't think my summer training, it kind of maybe added to it. So I'm ready for the season to start, honestly, and just to get back with this group and start playing hockey.
And it's starting so soon. And we go back to last year, Al and I would always laugh if there was a fight. We didn't even have to look at the TV because we knew Garnet was involved somehow, some way. And I'm so curious because I remember we were talking last season. You're like, yeah, sometimes it comes up at the dinner table. Have you always had this style of play? What made you decide one day that you're like, I'm going to be the guy that always brings the good fights?
I don't know. I don't think it was ever one moment. I think you could probably ask my parents or my siblings. I think I maybe just have always been like that a little bit. I'm the youngest of five, so it was kind of you kind of got to work for what you get. But yeah, I don't look much into it, honestly. It's been one of those things that coming out of college and trying to find my role in pro hockey, it just turned out that that's kind of the direction it ended up going in, and one that I was more than happy to be a part of. And it's a role that I think I've been able to find and then build my game around it.
You mentioned you're the youngest of five. I'm fascinated by your family history. Goes back to the Mayflower. Your dad is a character in himself, everything I've seen about him. So he brings your family on a around the world trip when you're 7 years old. Now you've got kids. How long before you try to bring them to Mount Everest and have them climb it at 7 years old?
Man. Yeah, that trip was unbelievable. I mean, I was 7, but I had the backpack that I had on my back is what I had for almost 100 days of travel. So it wasn't glamorous. It was a lot of long travel, planes, trains, automobiles, and it was one that, yeah, we went to some amazing places, and I got introduced to so many different, I guess, ways of life, situations, and I think helped me figure out the perspective of not only what's around me, but how fortunate I am and how grateful I am for where I am in the situation that I have. So it's one that it helped build my childhood, and I look back on it really fondly. But I don't know if I could take my son up the base camp, because he would run around probably just like I did. And I think there was a time that they were kind of scared I was going to get altitude sickness or something because I wouldn't stop running. That was it was special, and we still talk about it.
Oh, that's so cool. And I know you mentioned you have a third on the way, and you mentioned your son, and Al and I get to experience it with our co-host Scott Hartnell, who has Wesley already on skates, and already he's so talented. How soon are your sons going to start playing?
So I have a son who's 3 and a daughter who's 1.5 right now. So it's busy, but yeah, we'll see if they enjoy it, they enjoy it. And I'll try and introduce, really everything that'll capture their excitement in their mind. So if it's hockey, that's great. But I guess time will tell.
I'm interested, as a fellow New Englander. Your dad's in the lobster business. You had a lobster cart at college, I guess. But I can't even imagine this, that you're at lunch trying to sell But how special is that to have so many different facets of a family going on? And you're a professional athlete, but I guess it's just one of many things that your family has done, and it's just a different kind of a life thing. But growing up like that, when you grew up in Maine, how important was that business, that sense that you could do anything you want? I read the quote from your dad that said, "I don't care where you are in school, and I'll tell you not to look out the window. You look out the window once a day and dream." So how important was to have that as a basis for just follow dreams?
That's man. Get off my Wikipedia, Al.
It's your dad's.
No, I know. No, that's part of my childhood that I look back on. And I think I know I wouldn't be here without that guidance. And it was, if you can dream, you can do it. And you're right. He said every day, look out the window, take 5 minutes. I don't care if you get yelled at by the teacher, and just daydream. Just think about whatever you want to do. and just dream big. Just, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. And, you can't do it unless you dream it, and you can't get it done without hard work. So it's one of those things that I still think about it. I'm going to relay that message to my kids, and hopefully they'll find something that they love too.
Oh, that is great advice. And especially when you apply that to this Flyers organization right now, the hard work it took last season to greatly exceed expectations. When you think back to last year, is there someone in particular you're impressed with, or a moment that stands out? You're like, that was really cool. We accomplished that.
Oh man. There's a lot. It's a long season. A couple of guys we were here talking the other day about, I think that Dallas game at home, when I think it was our most complete game. Tip had probably the best goal I've ever seen, back in Spinorama, top shelf. So I think it might have been that game. I think I remember a lot of the games, but that game I think was one that, when everything was clicking, you find out that potential. You get kind of slapped in the face with like what you really can do, and everything was clicking. It was a high caliber game where guys were there for each other. They were executing, and I think gave us that that mental awareness that, hey, we can do this. Like, whether it's next week or next month or when the year ended next season, right? That stuck with us. And there's games like that we didn't have it, and there's games that we did. And I think figuring out how to be prepared like that, and how to be on the same page and ready for a game like that against a really good team, and how to do that every night is our next step.
Everybody's excited, the fans, about Mitch Kopp coming over. There's nothing in the Wikipedia about Russia with you, so I can't go there.
We were there, though. We did go. We were there.
I bet. So, but what would it be like for a player to have there's a lot of attention on this kid coming over. I don't know about a language barrier and all, but how, as a veteran player, what do you expect you're going to have to do, or everybody's going to have to kind of do to kind of usher him into the NHL?
I think it's tough. I think there's a lot of hype. I can't relate to that. I don't know what that's like. But I've been around guys who have, and I've played long enough now that I think I know a room that can help individual players. And I know a group of guys that can come together and help people out. And this is that group. The guys know each other. We're there for each other, and it's one of those that, if he needs anything, we'll be there. If there's any insight we can give, and we'll be learning off each other, right? Right now we don't know where we stand. We don't know what it's going to be like game one. But when we get in the same room, we're going to start clicking, and that's just a testament to the group.
Right. It's massive expectations for him. I was telling Al, living in the city, he's on every billboard when you take your dog for a walk. So it's definitely big, and really just this team as a whole, expectations for this upcoming year. I was talking to Tyson Forster about it last week, and he said he hopes that people still count you guys out, because he felt like that helped this team so much last season. But I got to imagine expectations are just going to be a little different next year.
Yeah, I think, inside the league and out, right? It's that media outside perspective that might say, where are you putting us in your rankings? But what matters is when we go into other buildings, when people come to Philly and now know that we're not the team we were in the years past. It's going to be a competitive game like they saw all last season from us. So that's one that we're going to have to continue to grow. We have to understand that we're going to get every team's best, and we're going to have to step up. And like I mentioned before, we need to be prepared in order to do that. And there's going to be no time to take nights off, and to continue to prove people wrong. It starts in the room. and it's, it's where we see ourselves. And, like I said, knowing what we're going up against.
We can feel the energy can you feel a new energy after last year, being here a whole year and what's gone on this summer? Can you, just from being around town, can you feel a new energy for this club already?
Yeah, I think, the energy that, right, it skyrocketed in season 2. And you felt that. And I think the guys in the room did too. And I don't think it felt like we got counted out from the media, just inside our room. I think the fans did too, right? They bought in, and they wanted it just as badly as we did. And that goes back to the passion of these, the Philly fans. It's bought in. It's wanting to be there. It's the same mindset we have in the room. They want to be there for us to give their all, to help us succeed. And it's fun, right? It's an exciting time.
It really is. I remember you telling me last year when you got recognized at the grocery store, and it was like, all right, like things are progressing here, and you can like feel this passion all of a sudden. And I got to think it's gotten so much bigger since you've been here. Is there a specific goal for you or for this team as we get ready for this new season?
I was going to say, I've been recognized a little more lately, but misrecognized as like a Philly guy. I don't know. Like,
what do you mean by Philly guy?
Like one of the Phillies. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
They think you're a baseball player.
I just kind of go with it. So yeah, I've been recognized more, but maybe not correctly. Yeah, it's been. Sorry, I don't even know. What was the rest of that question? Sorry.
It's okay.
Was it Bryce Harper?
Yeah.
I don't. And I was like, I felt bad for the guy. I don't know who it was.
You make up a name on the Phillies? Like, what do you mean you go with this?
I'm at the grocery store. I just keep kind of moving. I'm like,
yeah, go Phils. Have a nice day.
Yeah. They're like, don't you have a game now? I'm like, no.
Hurry, you're late.
I'm like, just got that athlete look.
I know. I don't know.
That is awesome. I forgot my question too. No, I didn't. Goals for this upcoming year. Expectations.
No, I don't really look at it like that. I think in order for me to build my game individually and then for the team, it's kind of it runs parallel, right? I don't think there's one that you can say, hey, let's hit this mark and we're going to be fine. It's going to be the same as like you win the first game. You're not going 82-0, and you can't say, oh, that's just going to happen every night and that's how it will be. So I think to be successful, we're going to have to just keep building off of games. Camp's tough. So getting through camp in a way that we're on the right foot in order to start the right way, right? I think even more now, we know how important it is to start well. Whether that's in a game or the season in general, we need to figure out a way to get locked in and really find our best hockey early. And that's what we're going to focus on in camp.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated I've covered John Torella through many teams. I'm really wondering about this camp coming up because you guys played better last year. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, he's not going to let them think they played better. This is going to be the hardest camp he's ever run. I mean, as a player, do you wonder going in like, wonder what this is going to be like? You know that the rope thing is going to be there. But you wonder going in what that's going to be like for his couple of days at camp.
Yeah, I think every guy has thought about it. They'd probably be lying if they said they haven't. But, when it comes down to it, he demands your best. He really does. And I think that's one thing that has, aside from everything else, like system-wise, everything, that's what we've relied on. We need that. And I think we're learning from that. And it helps us. It really does. So he demands our best, but it also brings us together as a group. And I think as we grow as a group, as we continue, I think, he doesn't want to be in there every day telling us what was good and what was bad, or holding each of us accountable. I think we're learning as a group that understands that we're going to start holding each other accountable. And it's not personal. It's for the best of the team. And there's no hard feelings in our locker room. We understand that. And I think that's the group that we have. It's, you have to be on to play your role to help the team. And if you're not, it's, how do we get there? And we're not going, tearing guys down. We're trying to say, hey, what will help you get to your best? If you're not there, what's going to help you take the step forward? So it all starts from that demanding the best. And I think that's what Torts and our coaching staff brings.
Mm-hmm. High expectations, and rightfully so. Well, Garnet, thank you so much for joining us, and congrats on the new deal.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.